Dave Zimmerman here, chop wood, carry water. And today I want to go over some exercises in this strength and conditioning video with the large exercise ball, and that's as opposed to the mini balls, which we often use as well. I really like those. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the large exercise ball. So for what we're doing today, size is not super critical. This is even probably a little underinflated to how I would like to have it for seated exercises, for example. We're not going to do any of those today. We'll just be sitting very briefly to kind of get into some other positions. So if you're looking at buying an exercise ball, probably the most flexibility that you're going to have about different exercises that you can do would be that if you were sitting on the ball, you should be somewhere around a 90-degree angle here at the hip or at the knee. This is a little bit low for me. I think I'd prefer to be just slightly higher. If I kind of unweighted this ball, even if I inflated this fully, I would be probably just about right. But again, that's give or take. You have some flex there. And like I said, for today, that's not critical. But just for those of you who are thinking about buying, that might be a smart idea. But I also wanted to show you before we get started, a lot of you I know out there have some wrist issues, maybe some arthritis in your hands. And so there's a couple ways that you can modify some of these exercises. We do several things from the what I like to call the wheelbarrow race position, or kind of a plank position on the ball, where which I'll show you in just a moment here. But there's with your hands on the floor. This is a big, tight angle for that wrist. And with us bearing weight down, oftentimes that creates a lot of pressure there. A couple things. Number one, it really helps, believe it or not, if you really think about using your abs and using your powerhouse muscles to really lift your body up away from the floor, and oftentimes that will take pressure off of those wrists. Also, if you think about keeping a little more weight down in the legs, and again, you'll see this position in a moment, but if you keep more weight in your legs and less in your arms, that will also take some pressure off of your wrists, including that'll load up your abs more as well, typically. But if those aren't working, what you can do, I'm using yoga blocks here. You could also use small dumbbells. Small dumbbells, if you have them, might even be a little bit better. They need to be big enough that you can grab onto that dumbbell and that your hand can still be off of the floor. But notice when I'm grabbing a dumbbell, my wrist is much straighter than. You could even, for that matter, you could even just get on your fists, although sometimes that's uncomfortable for your fists. I'm on a hard floor today, and some people that's a bit much. So if I go out to my wheelbarrow position, I'm going to walk these yoga blocks with me. You can see this on an angle. If I have my hand up on top of those yoga blocks, I'm going to be able to keep my wrists a little bit straighter. That's going to maybe be a little easier on my wrists when I do an exercise like my knee folds here, or any number of exercises that we might do in that position. So, on with the video. Alright, so just like in a good workout, we are going to start with our warm-up here. I've tried to include the fit ball as a prop in a lot of these movements as well. But notice I'm pivoting my feet, I'm turning my hips. So you will be turning your spine as well. So those of you who shouldn't be twisting, keep that in mind. You might even limit this motion a little bit more. But then for you especially, it's going to be even that much more important that you pivot your back foot and that you move your hips. Turning my hips to the left, turning my hips to the right. This is a warm-up. Keep your shoulder blades away from you. Keep your spine nice and upright here. Think about that posture. So, but go at a speed, a pace that feels appropriate for you for your warm-up today. I'm gonna start moving those arms even a little more as well. Notice that turn gets a little bigger. But again, especially those of you maybe with scoliosis or for other reasons you might not wanting to be twisting your spine very much right now, rein this in a little bit. Take it easy. And from there, I'm going to go to what I call my bench bridge position. So it's going to be as if I were lying on a bench. I'm going to really scoop out my abs here, make this exercise as well as I walk down. When you get into position, be sure your head and shoulders are both supported by the ball. My hips are up, my belly is in, and I'm going to do some chest openers here. So I'm walking those fingertips toward the spine. That's an inhale. I'm going to exhale to open. I want to inhale to broaden across my chest and the fronts of my arms. And then I'm going to exhale and close up again. Make sure you get that you don't do all of these with one arm on top. So you can alternate, or you can just mix it up a little bit. Opening up, broadening up. Nice full inhale there to broaden. Exhale to close. Inhale to walk those fingertips toward the side. Meanwhile, I'm having to do some work to make sure my hips stay up. They want to start dropping toward the floor, so those hamstrings are engaged, those glutes are engaged. I'm going to do one more of those. Another one I'm going to do here. I stick them up, I call it. I'm going to get it so that those forearms are parallel with the floor, and I'm going to reach up overhead and bring those elbows toward the waist. Reach up overhead. So be careful here. This is easy to end up here. Right? I want to have it externally rotate those shoulders so that your wrist and your elbow are at the same horizontal level. Wrist and elbow at the same level. So that might be way out here. You might have to come up a little bit to make that happen. Over time, we want to work toward getting more and more open. This is a great pec minor stretch, among other things. I'm going to come back down. Now, walking up, I'm scooping that belly out again. And I'm going to stop when my low back is in that curve of the ball. Now, the advantage of doing kind of a crunch motion here, a lot of you should not be doing crunches. Skip over this, go to the next exercise. But if you really want to focus on those upper abs, and in particular, what I like here, I'm going to bring my fingertips to my shoulders so I'm not pulling my head forward. But you could do hands behind the head. Just don't pull your head forward. When I come back, I'm really, notice I'm even hyperextending a little bit in that thoracic spine. Keep that base of the breastbone in, and then I'm going to come up. And then I come back down. Keep those collarbones as open as you can here. But the nice thing about the ball that's very unique is we get into this very lengthened position with those abdominals, and we do some strengthening in that more lengthened position. And I'm just going to do about 4 more of these. Do as many as you'd like. Pulling that belly button toward the spine. I'm keeping my low back against the ball for each one of those. And then I'm going to continue to scoop out those abs and come up to a seated position. Now, turning over, I'm going to put the ball underneath my belly. And even though that ball is underneath my belly, I want to use those ab muscles. I want to act as if I'm trying to lift up off of the ball with those abs. And I'm going to lift one arm in the opposite leg and get as long as I can. Last one in the warm-up here. This is, again, just a great opportunity to get that hip joint moving, get that shoulder joint moving, get that length happening all the way through your body, all the way from the bottom of your foot out the top of your head, out the fingertips, extra lift that I'm doing. I'm really thinking especially about my thoracic spine, where those ribs attach. So let's do one more each side. So that way I'm not cranking my head back. Keep it just a slight tuck to that chin. And then lastly, I'm just going to do a little bit of rolling on the ball. Just as my insurance policy, make sure that low back is nice and long. Moving into more of the meat of the workout now. So I'm going to walk out to that wheelbarrow position that I talked about in our introduction. Walking forward so that I'm going to move a little better angle. Okay. A little angle here. The further you walk out for these, this is called a knee stretch. I'm bringing the knees in, and I'm extending those legs back out behind you. The further out you walk, to start with, the more challenging this is going to be. Conversely, if you need this a little bit easier, walk it back a little, and move from there. Bringing those knees toward my chest. Also, on this one, I want you to keep your chest over a spot that's right in between your hands. The tendency is to start creeping backwards. Let's do 3 more of those. 3 and 2. And last one. Then I'm going to walk out. Come back home. Again, just a little stretch for your back here. What I want to do is offer you a couple more advanced versions of this. So, first one, we're going to leave a little bit in the tank as well. We're going to go right into another exercise from there. So, walking forward. This time, when I go to do my knee stretch, I'm going to also do a push-up. And then that knee stretch. And a push-up. And then that knee stretch. Now, if you want to get into those obliques a little more, try bringing both of those knees toward one elbow. Think about keeping that spine nice and flat. As you do this, we don't want to get too rounded here. And that'll make it a little more challenging as well. Push up. Obliques. Push up. Also be done with your straight on knee stretch. Now, like I said, we're going to leave a little in the tank. So when I come back out, now my legs are very close together. I'm going to lengthen to lift one leg, keeping the hips nice and steady, keeping the shoulders nice and steady, alternating legs, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. Lift and lower. I'm going to do 2 more on each side. Most of you know I like to put some power and agility work into these strength and conditioning videos. It's often an overlooked area. And that's what we're doing here. This is about quickness. It's all quick. Trying to really get a rhythm going and keep it going. I'm going to use the ball again as a prop to work those shoulders. If you've got shoulder issues, you might have this ball out in front of you, or you could even bend your elbows for this. But what I'm going to do is a quick knee-high jog. I'm going to keep reaching that ball up. I've got kind of a low ceiling in here, so I got to be mindful about that. But do the best you can here. Really use that to focus on posture, keeping that posture up high. I'll show you from the side. Really pick those knees up. Really keep those legs moving quickly. We're going to go 45 seconds. So if you can go harder, you can go faster. Go faster. And 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, keep those legs moving. even if it's just rocking back and forth. We want to keep those leg muscles working. Give me a moment here to catch your breath. Just a little bit. I'm moving over toward the wall so you can see this next one. So I'm still panting a little bit, but I'm starting to feel a little more normalized. Notice my left foot is close to my wall here. I'm going to use the wall for some balance help. Keeping those hips level. I'm going to extend the leg back behind me. Get nice and long and straight. Notice my spine doesn't stay perfectly upright, but I am focused on staying long out the top of my head. If your balance is pretty good, try this without the wall. Part of your job here is to keep that ball tracking in a nice straight line, which takes a bit of work. One more time. And then changing feet. So again, I'm going to get that foot right up close to that wall. Again, I'll start with my hands, establish my balance here, keeping those abs engaged, extending through that hip. Your balance is doing okay. Do that without the wall. I'm feeling some work, those hamstrings and those hip stabilizers. Also feel a nice stretch in the front and that hip flexor on that left side. One more time here. And then I come up. So, next one, a little bit more challenging than our knee stretch we did a little while ago from that wheelbarrow position. This one's also going to be from that wheelbarrow. So you can go back and do that knee stretch again if this one's not working out for you. This one, I want you to think of it, this is a pike. This is up stretch. You do this on the reformer and Pilates. Call it up stretch there. Again, the further you walk out, the more challenging that's going to be. Now I'm going to keep my back flat, my legs straight, not locked, but straight. I'm going to lift my hips up in the air. I'm also going to do this with a push-up. That's optional. Again, we want to keep that chest right over a spot that's directly between your hands. I'm going to do two more. Now, coming to my elbows. I'm going to walk back so that again my belly is on the ball. I'm going to even arch my back just a little bit. When we arch, we want that to be a nice even arc through that spine. And with my legs here, I'm going to do a flutter kick. Now imagine a strap, big wide one, around your abdomen, a harness, holding you in place. Try to use those abs as that harness. We'll go for 7, 6, really extend those legs out. 4, 3, shoulder blades are away from ears, and then that ball. The next one, again, we're going to try and get that heart rate up. I want to get some lateral movement in here as well. And so what we're going to do, I call these speed skaters. And the basic motion is that I'm going from one leg to the other. Notice just like a skater, there's kind of that glide time as well. Kick, glide, kick, glide. Now, balance-wise, some of you may want to add a back foot there to help you find your balance. Weight is in that front leg though, in that case. Otherwise I'm just going side to side. And with the arms, we've got several options, but let's worry about that when we get started here in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, we're going to go for 45 seconds. The lower you sink into this, the more challenging it's going to be. I'm going to add arms, side to side. Keep that posture. You can also rotate. Notice I'm rotating my shoulders. I'm working on keeping the chest up. Try and keep the chest open as well. 10 seconds. Ramp it up if you can. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Keep those legs moving. For our next one, when you're ready, hit pause if you need to. If you need to get that heart rate back a little more. Moving out to that wheelbarrow position again. This one, I'm moving down to elbow plank and up to plank. That was a left arm lead. I'm going to do a right arm lead. Those abs strong. For 6 more seconds here. Call it there. Go and walk back. And our next one here, this is going to be another one of our quickness drills. I'm going to show you from the side. And again, we're going to go for 45 seconds. I'm going to, again, lengthen that spine to reach that ball overhead. And this time, our quickness, go ahead and start, is a butt kicker. Bring the foot toward the seat. Stay upright. Keep those knees underneath. Don't let them get out in front of you. Quick, 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 quick. Keep that head up. 20 seconds to go. One, and call it. Keep those legs moving. So for our next one here, I've gotten my mat out, and this is going to be a star. Now you can do this on your hand. You can do any version of a side elbow plank here. What I'm going to do for 30 seconds, starting in 2, 1, coming up into my side plank and extending an arm up. And I'm going to go ahead and lift the leg as well. So this is just 30 seconds. Keep your head in line with your spine. Keep those abs in. So nice long line from crown to foot here. And then coming down. Now going to the other side. So I'm on the other side now. And I'm gonna, again, set up. 3, 2, 1. And keep lifting your body, your torso, up off of your shoulders. Keep that chin tucked. Keep that spine in line. 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming down. So I've cleared off my mat. Once again, we're going to go to our speed skaters for 45 seconds. In 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, we're going to go for 45 seconds. The lower you sink into this, the more challenging it's going to be. I'm going to add arms, side to side. Keep that posture. You can also rotate. Notice I'm rotating my shoulders. I'm working on keeping the chest up. Try and keep the chest open as well. 10 seconds. Ramp it up if you can. 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm back on my mat. We're going to do some light core work and some range of motion work. And so I'm flat on my back. I'm going to do a straight leg bridge here. Now, my legs are right together for this. You'll see why in just a moment. Makes your bridge a little more challenging. You can always use your arms for some help here at your sides. Make sure you're not jamming your shoulders into the floor. But I'm going to hold that bridge. I'm going to bring a leg up and then down. Just barely tap that ball. Back up. Just a nice slow movement here. Keep those hips even. I'm just going to do 5 slow. If you're going a little faster, do a few more. Then I'm going to go to the other side here. Chin is tucked. Make sure there's no pressure in the back of your head. Nice hamstring stretch there. Some nice core work, some nice hamstring work on that stable leg. Now, I'm going to roll up. The safest way to get up from the floor, if you can't do a perfect roll up, is to roll to your side and sit up. I'm going to come up bone by bone and sit tall. Now my feet a little wider than mat width here, sitting up straight and tall. Notice I've got a little bend to my knees because I need that to keep up on top of my sits bones and be straight. If I straighten out those legs, I end up a little slouched here. I'm kind of exaggerating so you can see, but nice and tall. Now, if you've got scoliosis or you shouldn't be doing deep flexion, just use this as a chance to work on posture and to lengthen. Otherwise, what I'm doing is imagining a wall that I'm sitting against. I'm going to peel off of that wall, just one bone at a time with my spine, walking my hands forward on top of that ball. Getting nice and long. At the bottom, the pelvis is still up against the wall. The goal here is to stretch, I'm stacking again, to stretch those muscles that run all up and down the spine, and we do that by getting into a flexion. That's why I'm leaving that pelvis against the wall. It's not about hamstrings, this is about the spine. We already did hamstrings. Lengthen that spine. And stacking back up. Notice I'm moving very slowly. Working on bone space on the way up, so I end up a little taller than how I started. One more time. Restacking. So I've gotten rid of my ball. For those of you who should not be bending or twisting your spine, I'm going to recommend that you do a quad stretch on your side. For the rest of us, this is a scorpion. I'm going to extend those arms out to the sides. I'm going to turn my head to one side. Shoulders are away from ears. My arms and chest stay on the floor as I bring one foot toward my opposite hand. I'm trying to lengthen that spine and that thigh when I do that. Notice my head stays the same direction. I'm going to come across to that other side. Foot toward the hand. Now I'm going to change sides with my head. Coming across. And then to the floor. And across. And to the floor. And you don't have, turning my head now, you do not have to make it to the floor. Go to where you can. Don't force this. That range of motion work, a little goes a long way. Try and get long in that thigh. That's much more important than whether that foot gets to the ground or not. One more round of that with my head on the other side. You can always finish by dropping back into a child's pose. If you have knee issues, I recommend you do this on your back instead, with your knees hugged into your chest. And I would even grab your thighs rather than grabbing your shins. Couple more breaths here, nice full breaths. Bring those arms to the sides. And once again, I'm going to stack bone by bone by bone through that spine to come up to seated tall. And that's the workout for today. Thanks for watching.